Fighter Zero.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the ever so awesome Street Fighter Zero for the Sega Saturn. Also known as Street Fighter Alpha, it was developed and published by Capcom, first in arcades in 1995 and on the Saturn and PlayStation in 1996. It was released worldwide and can also be found on the Street Fighter Alpha PS2 collection and the PlayStation Network. It's set after the original Street Fighter and before Street Fighter 2, and introduces a deeper plot than had been seen in the series previously. It explains the source of Vega's psycho power, the origin of Rose, and the backstories of characters like Nash, Chun-Li, and Guy. And the story and character roster would continue to expand in the sequels. Street Fighter Zero maintains the basic setup established by Street Fighter 2. It utilizes a 6-button setup, and one thing that's a little different this time around is the ability to string together combos using light, medium, and heavy attacks, much like in Darkstalkers and X-Men Children of the Atom, which were both released around the same time. Zero also expands upon the Super Combo system established in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Here each character has a couple of different super combos, and the super combo meter features 3 different stages, and the fuller it is, the more powerful of an attack you can do, depending on which attack button you press. And this mechanic would carry over into the sequels. Each of the game's 10 initially playable characters are pretty diverse in terms of speed, power, and special moves, and aside from Birdie and Sodom, I like them all. Overall, while Zero isn't a vast improvement in gameplay over previous entries in the series, and it would be greatly improved upon in the 2 sequels, this is still a really exceptional fighting game with some tight controls and super fun gameplay, which is pretty par for the course in terms of mid-90s Capcom fighters. I like it a lot.
You win.
The presentation in Street Fighter Zero is excellent for the most part, though it would also be improved upon greatly in the sequels. It introduces a much more colorful and anime-inspired visual style, which again is in keeping with other Capcom mid-90s fighters like Darkstalkers and X-Men, and I really like it. This might actually be my favorite representation of the Street Fighter characters. The stages all look good for the most part, but some of them lack animation and are pretty static, and characters share stages instead of everybody getting their own. But still a very good looking game on the Saturn. The soundtrack is also really good, but kind of odd in that the designers went with a very jazz, funk style for a lot of the stage themes, which is really passive for a fighting game, but still enjoyable, and there are a few higher energy tracks thrown in for good measure. Overall, Street Fighter Zero features some great visuals and sound design, and while it's not as good in any one department as the sequels would prove to be, it's still a very well made game.
You win. Welcome. Fight.
Shoreviewken.
KO. You win. Perfect.
If you're a fighting game fan, and a Street Fighter fan in particular, and you haven't played Street Fighter Zero yet, then I'd say go back and give it a try. You probably won't be blown away by the gameplay, but I'm willing to bet you'd enjoy it. It's fun, and it has a real mid-90s charm. Like I said, the sequels are much better, but we'll get around to that. And good news, this is an extremely affordable game. Taking a look at eBay, it can usually be found for around $10, which is an absolute steal. Buy it today. It's Street Fighter Zero, aka Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dreams, and it's awesome.